Hey Michael, Professor Sebastian here. Just here to give you a little bit of feedback on your second exam. Shouldn't take very long because you did fantastic. And then talk a little bit about the final. I guess I'll take care of that business here up front. So before I reviewed your exam, you got 96.11 on your own. So not much for me to review really. The score after review went up a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit to 96.67. I'll explain to you what I reviewed here in just a second. So when looking at your exam, you provided all your work for me, really good here. You get to question 5, and in question 5, you didn't have a score of 1. I bumped it up to 1 here because you were off by 1/100th on each of these times. So, and you solved it, correctly. So the bottom line is this was correct. You just were off by that 1/100th. Who knows? Rounding error. Some weird, I'm not quite sure what you were doing here. I would have used the quadratic formula, trying to see what you were doing actually, but I'm not totally sure, but it's fine. It's all good. I think that maybe you got one of them and then 40 minus that on the other side because you knew it would be passing at the same time. That same distance apart, I mean. Anyways, up to 1. Let's see. So the only question then became 17. So 17, you have, and I noticed a little something on this. Now remember, I'm not really reviewing a lot of stuff that you get right, but I noticed that you were more looking for a pattern here than doing calculus. So be really careful. I know I've said that questions come directly off the quizzes, etc., for your exams, but just memorizing what the pattern of the answer is not helpful certainly if you don't get it right, but it's also not learning the calculus. I want you to learn the calculus. The reason I give you these problems that you've seen before is so you are not intimidated by seeing something new, but I also don't want you to not use calculus, okay? So I couldn't raise your score on this because what you were showing me was not calculus. What I want you to show me is how do I take the derivative of this guy using calculus, not memorizing a pattern from the answer, which looks like what was going on up here. So when you have this, basically you have to think about this as two functions, 2x and then the square root of 2 minus x to the 4th. So it's a product rule, function times function. So by the product rule, first times the derivative of the second. Now to take the derivative of 2 minus x to the 4th, you have to use the chain rule. So it's the derivative of the outside first, 1/2 times 2 minus x to the 4th you leave alone, to the minus 1/2. And then you multiply that times the derivative of the inside, which is minus 4x cubed. And then plus the derivative of the first times the second would be 2 times the quantity 2 minus x to the 4th and 1/2. Then you want to go ahead and put this back into one fraction as best you can. So I rewrote these square roots as square roots instead of as powers. That means the common denominator is square root of 2 minus x to the 4th. So I have to multiply this term by square root of 2 minus x to the 4th in the numerator and denominator. So that leaves this. You simplify it a little bit and get that. Other than that, you're doing good. Just, I didn't really look through to see if you were kind of memorizing patterns rather than doing calculus, but just be really careful about that, okay? Make sure you know how to do it and not just memorizing the patterns from doing the questions before. But bottom line is you're doing great. So I don't want to be too critical about that, but I just worried that, when I saw that problem that, oh boy, he's a smart kid and he's memorizing patterns rather than learning the calculus. So I hope you're not doing that because it's really important that you learn this calculus. All right, take care and good luck. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Oh, about the final, maybe I didn't tell you. So the final exam, the way the final exam will work is 50% of the questions, so it's the same length, 30 questions. So 15 questions will come off of exams 1 and 2, about 7 or 8 from each. All right, and then 25% of the questions, so another 7 or 8, will come from quiz 5, which you finished here at the end of week 5. And I see that when I look at your work, you're actually ahead of schedule, which is what I've encouraged you to do, have them open and get ahead. So you're doing great. You'll have plenty of time to stay for the final. And then the other 25% of the questions come off of the 2 homeworks from this last week, week 6. So 50% from exams 1 and 2, 25% from quiz 5, and the other 25% from the 2 homework sets this week. All right, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Your overall percentage in the course right now, I think it was 96.32. I just looked, which, you know, solid A. You're doing a great job. Just keep up the good work. And, you know, try to show me the calculus work when you're taking the final exam so I can see. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.